In this video, I'm going to show you how to breed white cloud mountain minnows. White clouds are one of the easiest fish to breed, making them a perfect introduction into the world of breeding egg-scattering fish. Stay tuned. White cloud mountain minnows are hardy and beautiful cold water fish, native to parts of China and Vietnam, although they were thought to be extinct for some time. Luckily, small populations of white cloud mountain minnows have been discovered in isolated locations in the wild, although they are still considered endangered. This means that all white clouds sold in the aquarium hobby are captive bred, and that the hobby has effectively kept this species alive. White cloud mountain minnows are highly adaptable to a wide range of water parameters, making them a great fish for beginners and advanced aquarists. These fish do well in a pH of 6 to 8, a water hardness of 5 to 19 degrees hardness, and a temperature of 60 degrees to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, or 15 to 22 degrees Celsius. So you don't need a heater. They can be kept in water above 72 degrees, but warmer water can shorten their lifespan, so please keep that in mind. Sexing these fish is quite easy when they reach sexual maturity. Males will typically be more slender and colorful than females, displaying their most vibrant colors when trying to attract a female to mate. Females, on the other hand, are a bit more dull in color, but the obvious sign to look for here is a full abdomen, meaning the female is ready to spawn. You can see with my fish that the difference is pretty obvious. Sexing juveniles, on the other hand, is a little more difficult with this species. White clouds are omnivores, so do your best to give them a balanced diet. I'm currently feeding my white clouds several flake foods, Hikari micro pellets, extreme nano pellets, fluval bug bites, rapashi, and brine shrimp. When conditioning these fish to spawn, I believe the absolute best food to give them is live baby brine shrimp. If you've never hatched live baby brine shrimp, I think you should strongly consider it. It will come in handy later when you have lots of fry to feed. After conditioning these fish for a week or so, it's time to get them in a spawning tank. There are several ways to do this. These fish can be bred in outdoor ponds, in tanks with marbles or coarse gravel as a substrate, in heavily planted tanks, or in tanks with a false bottom. I'm choosing to use a 5-gallon tank with a false bottom for my breeding project, but you can use whatever works for you. If you're interested in how I built this false bottom, I'll post a clickable link at the top of the video. I put a group of 5 white clouds in a 5-gallon tank with a cycled sponge filter. To make them feel a little more comfortable, I've included a clump of java moss, some Minnows coffeefolia, and some red root floaters. Plants aren't absolutely necessary, but I think that they will help the fish feel more comfortable in their new environment. So if you have some spare plants, go ahead and toss them in. Now just feed them a varied diet for about a week and let them do the rest. Again, I like to feed a lot of freshly hatched baby brine shrimp, but you can use almost any variety of foods you have at your disposal. And try to do at least one 50% water change during this week as well, because it gets a lot more difficult when you have a bunch of fry in the tank. In about 5 days to a week, you will hopefully start to see some super tiny fry clinging to the glass. Congratulations, you just hatched your first white cloud mountain minnows. Although there is lots of information out there saying that parents don't predate on their fry, I've personally seen them do so I choose to remove the parents at this point. If you decide to leave the parents in, leave a comment and let me know how that goes. I'm interested in hearing from you. While we're in the tank, I'll also carefully lift up the false bottom and remove that as well. I believe this helps the fry get out to the surface easier after hatching. Now all we have to do is wait patiently until the fry start to free swim. Once you notice some free swimming, you can start giving them fry powder 2 to 3 times a day. I give Aquarium Co-op fry powder. I've also used Hikari First Bites. Both work really well. I've also heard great things about Ceramicron, but if you don't have any of these fry powders, take your favorite flake food and crush it up into a fine powder, and feed that. This is my favorite part because you're going to see them grow every day. Continue feeding a high quality fry powder or flake food while maintaining the highest water quality possible. This is going to require large, frequent water changes. Personally, I do a 50% water change every day. I know this sounds like a bit much, but it's what I do in all my fry tanks. I think this strategy offers the best environment for small fry to grow quickly and healthy. If you have your fry in a larger tank, you may be able to get away with less water changes, but I think it's absolutely critical that you keep your water quality high in a small tank, because there's less room for error with a small water volume. Don't worry about siphoning the mulm off the bottom just yet. You might accidentally suck up babies or eggs with it. I find that a siphon hose with a foam filter cover works very well for this stage of the breeding process. I'll do a video on how to make a fry siphon in the future, so consider subscribing so you don't miss that video. In a week or less, your fish will be big enough for live baby brine shrimp. Once you get to this point, it's as easy as feeding them twice a day and doing your water changes. In about 40 days, you'll be rewarded with this beautiful blue stripe, and you'll understand why they're sometimes called the poor man's neon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and entertaining. If you're interested in buying any of these fish, I sell them on my website, sydneysangels.com. If you breed these fish differently than I do, drop a comment down below and tell me about it. I would love to hear from you. Also, keep an eye out for our next giveaway. Should be a good one. Thanks again and have a great week. Bye.